Yo, what's up, guys? MKDeluxe here, and today I'm bringing you a Unchained deck profile. And this is the deck I've been rocking with for a few weeks now. I've been like using it on my locals, remote duels, and stuff like that. And I've been getting like first, second, third place. And even this weekend we had a box tournament. I got third place at the deck. And it's really good against all the meta decks right now, or well, like most of the meta decks right now. Eldik's nothing for this deck. Invoke Dogmatica is like alright, it's a pretty good matchup, but sometimes they just have like the Mechaba and it banishes your cards, and there's nothing you can do about that. Let's see, Infernobles are pretty easy, unless they hand rip you, right? But there's nothing you can do. Dragon Link I haven't faced too much, so I don't really know. Zodiac's pretty easy also, because like, the only problem with that is like, if they AA Zeus you, but like it is what it is, you know? If they have it, they have it. But yeah, so I'm going to get into the profile now. First up, we're rocking 3 Aruha, and so for those of you who don't know what Aruha does, is you can destroy one card on your field and then special it from hand. And it has the secondary effect, where if it is destroyed, same with all the Unchains, they all have the secondary effect, or all the level 3s. If they're destroyed, you can special a Unchained from your deck. So you play 3 Aruha, just because it's like the main one you want to see. And then next up, you play a triple Rikeya. And what Rikeya does, it's a quick effect pop for one of your cards. So use it to destroy your face downs and then get their effects from there. And you play 3 of this one, of course, and it has the secondary effect, again, where if it's destroyed, you can special one from deck. Next, you play 3 Sarama, and Sarama is like the best card in the deck. I'd say the deck wouldn't be really that good as it is right now without triple Sarama. So what Sarama does is, if you have a Unchained card in your graveyard, you can set that Unchained card. Doesn't matter if it's a monster, spell, trap, even though they don't have any spells, I don't think. And then destroy a card on your field. And it can be the same one you set. So you get like a pretty good like effects off that. Like if you like set your trap, you can pop your trap and activate its effect to special one from deck. If you pop some of your monsters, you can special one from deck or special one from grave and go into your links from there. So it's overall really good. And that's it for our level 3s, because that's all there is right now. Next up, we play 2 Unchained Abominable Unchained Soul. And what Soul does is if a card on your side of the field is destroyed, you can special it from hand. I don't think it matters if it's a monster, a spell, or trap, or whatever. And then he can destroy a card on the field, non-targeting, which is pretty good, by discarding one. And then if he's in your graveyard, except the turn he sent there, you can special himself back, which is pretty cool, you know? Yeah, that's pretty good. And then he goes to the bottom of the deck after that if he's destroyed again. So it's really good, being able to get the pop on your opponent's turn if they destroy your cards. And then just like even, what's it called? Like being able to recur himself is really good, you know? Next up, we play 1 Unchained Soul Disaster. So he gains attack equal to all the Unchained cards in your graveyard. But the main reason you play him is because you can link summon using your opponent's cards and himself. And he does target, unfortunately, and it's not a quick effect, but you only play the 1. And you play more if he wasn't a brick, but like you hate seeing more than 1 copy of him. So 1's really all you need, I'm pretty sure. At least that's what I think personally. And 1's worked good for me. I thought about bumping it up to 2, but you really hate seeing this card in hand. So yeah. Next up, we play the 1 Dark Spirit of Banishment, and this card is really good. It's won me so many games. Basically what it does is if a level 8 Fiend is in your grave, you can special the level 8 Fiend by discarding this card, I'm pretty sure, and then special it back, and during damage step, obviously. And then the effects are negated, but it changes damage calculation to that monster, so you can either special the Soul of Disaster and Defense for 3,000, and then inflict damage to your opponent if they can't get over it, or you can special the Unchained Soul and attack, and then their monster is gone, pretty much. And that has the secondary effect where if it's in your graveyard and a level 8 is destroyed, or a level 8 Fiend is destroyed, you can add it back to hand. And it was pretty nasty during the remote duel box tourney we had, where I got 3rd this weekend. During one of the games, I think I was playing against like Virtual World or something like that. I just kept looping this card over and over again, and it won me the game. So it's really good. If you see it, it's good. I wouldn't play more than 1, but you can if you want. But yeah. Next up, we play our hand traps and just other like generally good cards. So we play triple Gamma Seal. Even though I have the 1 Yadarla, I'd play the third Gamma Seal if I had one, but yeah, just being able to get over like your opponent's like good monsters like Dragoon. This deck has a really hard time getting over. You just Gamma Seal it away, and then you're good from there. You even like stop their negates or just like other good cards like that, like Winda. Yeah. Next up, we play Triple Ash. Pretty standard. This card's really good right now. Yeah, it's like the best hand trap, I'd say too. So yeah, you play 3 Ash. Next up, you play 2 Ogre. Ogre's pretty solid right now. Like, I'm liking it. If anything, I'd probably put it to the side. But it's won me a few games, just being able to stop your opponent's cards mid-combo. Like, stopping their barrage, or like, if they use an effect, you just get it off the field, So pretty good. I only played at 2, but you can play it at 3 if you like. Next up, we play Triple Gamma, and then 1 Driver. And I think this is the best hand trap right now, also, just again, like, because it negates not only that, but it destroys as well, if you have nothing on the field. So if they try and Ash, like, your Extravagance, or your Unchained effects even, like, what's it called, the Sarama, or the Ruha in hand, sorry, you can special it out, and then negate Destroy or whatever. So yeah, he's pretty good. And then you go into a Mega for a free hand rip. Or just get some bodies on board, And then lastly, we play the 1 Pankratops for going second. This card's really good right now. It's free special summon, and then swing over, like, I don't know, Herald, or just like other problem cards, and then it forces like negate. Like if you go Pankratops, battle phase or whatever, they're gonna have to either like pop it, and then you just chain the effect, or if you go the effect, they're gonna have to do something else to stop it, right? So it's pretty good. Now onto our spells. We only play 6. This is the Triple Abominations Prison. So for those of you who don't know what this card does, it lets you add a Unchained card from your deck to your hand. And what's really good about that is you can search your monsters, your spells, or your traps. So depending what you need, depends really what you get, but most of the time I'm either searching the traps, or the Aruha, Rekia, or Sarama, just depending what I have in hand. But yeah, really good card right now, and you always want to play this at 3. Next up, we play Triple Extravagance. This card's pretty good. Like, obviously it forces out the hand trap if they have it, and then being able to draw 6 is good. But I think when that new pot card comes out, you'd probably want to swap that for the Extrav, just because it's like nice choosing what you get to banish instead. But yeah, it sucks, like sometimes you'll just banish all 3 of your Soul of Rages, and then there's not much you can do from there, right? But yeah, it is what it is. This card's really good. You have to play it at 3 in this deck. Yeah. Next up, we got the Triple Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. And what this card does, it's like a Call of the Haunted and like Monster Reborn at the same time, I guess. So both of the traps have the, this one has the first effect, where you can special 1 Unchained from your hand or grave. And then it has the secondary effect where if this set card is destroyed, you can destroy it. If this set card is destroyed, you can special 1 from deck. So it's pretty good, right? Yeah. You play this at 3 for sure. You can't drop it down. And then yeah, it's also a normal trap, so that's a good trap trick target, which we play in the side deck, as you can see. Next up, we play 3 Escape of the Unchained. And so for those of you who don't know what this card does, is you can target 1 Unchained monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy both. So it's pretty solid for the interruption. And then again, it has that secondary effect where if it's set, you can special 1, or if it's set and destroyed, you can special 1 from deck. And this will also trigger your Unchained effects, like when they're destroyed on field. So it's pretty good, right? Yeah. Play this at 3, no doubt. And then next up, we play the 3 Imperm. I'm only playing, the 1 mostly because I have it, but if I had triple Imperm, I'd probably play it. I like Chalice just as like a backup, because like it does the same thing. The only thing that sucks is it's not a quick effect. At the same time, I also like the Chalice because, what's it called? You can activate it from, like, during your turn if you have monsters on field, so if they're trying to negate something, you can just chain the Chalice, which is a bit better than Imperm. But it's a good budget option for those of you looking for that. So I definitely recommend this. And then lastly, to round off the main deck, we play the 1 Imperial Order. And Imperial Order has just won me so many games. Just being able to lock your opponent out of spell cards is just like devastating against most decks right now. Like Invoke, Dogmatica, Zoo even sometimes. Infernoble, it's just like good stuff like that. So you definitely want to run the one in the main deck. I see a lot of people not playing it at all, but I personally like it, so that's why I'm playing it. And that runs off the main deck, and the main deck is 42 cards. Onto the extra deck, we play 3 Soul of Rage. And what Soul of Rage does is a quick effect linked during your opponent's turn. So you can link summon using your opponent's monster that was special summoned, and himself. And you're usually going into a rank 3, but if they have a link, you can go into like rank 4s or higher if you're playing higher, but I'm not personally. And then it has the secondary effect where if it's destroyed, you can add a Unchained card from your graveyard to your hand. And all the links have that, besides the link 4. So you play 3 Rage. Next up, I play 2 Anguish. I know a lot of builds play it because you're running the 3 Extrav and you just want to have it because you don't want to banish it. But I personally like 2, so that's why I'm playing that. And what this one does, it's the same effect as Rage, but it's not a quick effect. So you can only link summon using itself and your opponent's card during your turn. And it has the same secondary effect where you can add one back from grave when it's destroyed. And it's pretty good, but I don't really go into it that much myself, just because I'll be linking away their stuff and my stuff and going into 4s, or even just better 3s like Unicorn and stuff like that. Next up, we play the 2 Abomination, and again, this card's good, just because it has like multiple popping effects. Like I think it's like if a card on the field is destroyed, you can destroy one as well. If something is destroyed by battle, you can destroy one, and then I think during the end phase, it gets a pop as well. And you just want to play, I personally like playing 2, but a lot of builds play it at 3 again because of Extrav. You want to see it in your extra deck. But yeah, you can play as many as you like. I just think 2 is the good ratio for my build at least. Next up, we play the 1 IP. You don't really have to play this. It's just like an extra option. I like going into it sometimes, but yeah, this is like, you can play this whatever you want. I'm just playing the 1 IP. Next up, we got the 1 Crusadia Equimax. This is pretty good. Like it's my main target off IP from when I go into IP. But most of the time you don't really make him just because he's not a dark, he's a light. And all the Unchains can only make darks. But he comes up sometimes and he's pretty good. He gains attack equal to everything he points to. So you can get him up pretty high and then just go for the OTK. And then he can contribute himself because he's a Cyburst and negate a card effect. But like you're never really using that effect. You use him just to get over your opponent's cards. Next up, we play the 1 Unicorn. This card's really good, just being able to spin a card back after linking away their cards. You just get things off the field. So it's really good. So you play the 1. You can play more if you want, but I think 1's fine. Next up, we play the 1 Trisbania. And what this card does, you're really only making this against back row decks. But what Trisbania does is if a monster is if a monster is summoned to a zone he points to, he can banish all spells and traps on the field, and then your opponent takes damage equal to the amount of spells, or 500 damage for each spell or trap was banished by that effect. So it's pretty good. You make him against back row decks like Eldritch or Altergeist and stuff like that. Next up, we play the 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon. And he has the same effect, where if a monster is special to a zone he points to, he can destroy all monsters in the spell all monsters on the main monster zone. And it's not once per turn, which is really good. And then if he destroys something by battle, he can inflict attack damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. You make him sometimes, but like I really only make him against like spam decks. And this could be like access code. I'm just a bit broke for access code right now. So yeah. We play the 1 Boros. If a monster is special to a zone he points to, he banishes all of the cards on the field. I think himself also, and he gains a bunch of attack for each card that was banished by this effect, and he comes back during the next semi-phase, so he's pretty good. And then we play the 1 Omega, because we're playing the Gamma package. And then lastly we play the 1 Dingirsu, and that's just if we have 2 8s on field, we can get the send. It's a way to out-Dragoon if you bait the effect. But I don't really make him that much, but like he comes up sometimes, so it's nice to have. And a lot of the cards in the extra deck can be swapped out for like other options as you like. This is just what I'm running. Now onto the side deck, we go 3 Trap Trick, and this card's really good. So for those of you who don't know what it does, is you can banish a normal trap from your deck, and then set one, and you can activate that card the same turn you set it. So it's really good to get like well, like infib if you have it, or infinite impermanence if you have it. It's good to get your Unchained spells and traps, but the main reason you run it, or at least like the main reason I run it, is to go into the Sanctum package. So we got 3 Trap Trick. Yeah, sorry about that. So we play the 2 Pointer just to get the hand rips during your opponent's turn. Next up, we play 2 Heavy Storm Duster. It's just like Twin Twisters, but it's a trap, so you can get it off. What's it called? Trap Trick. And that's just if you need it. You side it in sometimes. It's good against backrow decks, really. Next up, we play 2 Anti-Spell. Forcing out your opponent to set their cards is really good. And it's just a game against a lot of decks. Like when it comes up, I usually just win the game. So yeah. And then you can play it easily because you only have like 6 spells, right? You can even main deck it, but yeah. Next up, we play 2 Sanctum. I know a lot of people play 3 Sanctum, but I only like 2 because you don't really want to see the card, but at the same time you do. But like, just being able to set it off the Trap Trick's really good. You can play 3 if you like, but this is just what I think the best ratio is for me. And then obviously you play the 1 Scythe with the 2 Sanctum, just being able to stop them from the extra deck. Because you never really want to see this card in your hand. You always want to see it off Scythe, but like, I mean, you can, like, if you have a Rakia and you set it, you can quick effect pop it and it'll still go off. And then next up, just another really good hand trap right now is Triple Lancia. Stops cards from being banished. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys enjoyed, feel free to drop a like or subscribe. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.